What's up everyone, welcome back to the Lace Up channel. My name is Mickey. In this video, I want to tell you how you, yes you, can become a millionaire if you implement certain strategies and procedures implemented by those before you. Now you're probably like, Mickey, you're clickbaiting me. I'm not going to be a millionaire. Listen, buddy, I guarantee that you can become a millionaire. I've seen so many of my customers over the years become a millionaire. It's not even funny. Now, obviously, not everybody can get there. But if you're disciplined, if you have a long-term time horizon, the probability of you doing this is extremely simple. Anyways, let's get into the 5 tips that will help you become a millionaire over the next few years. Anyways, let's get right into it. Now, before I get into the 5 tips, I want to tell you guys just how hard it is. I want to put a little disclaimer to this video. Most people think they're going to get into business and boom, a year later they're rich. But that's just not how it works. Think about it for a moment. At your profit margins, how long would it take you to save $1 million? So let's say, for instance, you saved $100,000 a year. That's a lot of money. It would take you 10 years of savings to acquire $1 million in net worth. Now that's absolutely insane, which makes it even more insane to even try to rationalize $1 million. But guys, even though it's extremely difficult, all you have to do is implement a plan. And this is a good segue into point number 1. You have to know your numbers. Most people, most distributors have no idea what their numbers are. They just see their net profit left over after all their expenses at the end of the month. And from that net profit, they draw their salaries or their dividend. And the nice thing about that draw is that you know you're always going to have money, but the question is, how much money are you drawing? Is that going up? Is it scaling? Do you see future potential for it to get exponentially larger? So when I say know your numbers, let's say for instance, you're drawing $10,000 a month. How long does it take you to get to $20,000 a month? How long does it take you to get to $30,000 a month? You have to know the time frames, because if you're drawing 10, but it's going to take you 20 years to get to 20, I can tell you unequivocally that it's almost impossible. Anything could change in that amount of time, and you're probably going to change and fall less and less and less in love with the business. But let me give you some data. Most distributors operate at a 3% net profit margin, which means to net $1 million, that's right, $1 million net in your pocket, you're going to have to sell $33 million. So you have to build a behemoth of a business with 100 employees, with a huge warehouse, with a bunch of inventory in order to net just $1 million, which is absolutely insane. That's why you guys need to know these numbers. Your sights, your targets need to be set, right? At whatever your target income is divided by your net profit, right? That's what your revenue needs to be in order to achieve that level of income. So again, know your numbers, know your time horizons, know how much your income is going up to see if you even have a chance. So now that you know your numbers, it's important to understand how distributors become millionaires in the first place. Well, becoming a millionaire is pretty straightforward. If I go to my distributor list, I think of all the owners of the top 100 companies, and they all became millionaires by implementing a couple strategies. Normally, the only way you're going to become a millionaire is if you do something that someone else doesn't. So who are the richest of the richest when it comes to my customers? I can tell you unequivocally, it's those that manufacture. People who manufacture operate at a much larger net profit margin. They have their own products, they control their own supply, which means that they're able to produce the product and set the price. And if the product has a demand because let's say it's got some brand equity, let's say that it's got a good reputation, then you're just going to churn a constant amount of awesome profit. Whereas if you're just a person that resells product, if you're just a guy that buys from supplier A and sells to supplier B, you're making such a small profit margin, it also doesn't make any sense for you to be doing this with your time, right? Why not get into a situation where you come up with your own product, you actually innovate something? People who flip product from one vendor to the other, from one vendor to a customer, are operating at this. And if you can't scale this, if you've been sitting at this for 3, 4, 5 years, then come up with your own product, come up with your own idea. The worst thing that can happen is you can test it. If it fails, too bad, but if it succeeds, you will exponentially increase your bottom line net profit. Point number 3, let's say that you can't come up with your own product. That's terrible, right? Maybe you don't have the skills, the know-how, or even the desire to do so. You don't want to deal with it. Well, what do you do? What do you do to get something your competition doesn't have? Well, number 3, you have to get exclusivity on something. I remember when I first started in Lace Up, I was cold calling the coffee distributor for Lavazza in Las Vegas. And I went and met with him a couple times. The guy was kind of a time waster, but the bottom line, I learned something super important from this guy. At a stage in his life, he had exclusivity for Lavazza across the United States. Okay, across the continuous United States. That being said, he was small, he was thinking small, he was only supplying to Vegas, but his business at the time was doing $4 to $5 million a year in revenue. But what happened, guys? Lavazza came down, and because there was no contract, no exclusive contract, okay, they ended up giving distribution to someone else. So this guy did not keep his exclusivity. He had exclusivity just due to inertia, just due to demand, because Lavazza wasn't yet a big brand in the US. And because he didn't think about keeping that exclusivity and negotiating with Lavazza to get a long-term contract in play, he cost himself millions of dollars. You know, I don't understand these distributors that buy and resell product that everyone else does. Hence the Kellogg distributors. Those guys got destroyed when Kellogg pulled distributorship from the small distributor. That's what sucks about being in the distribution game. If you're just buying and selling, you don't really have anything. You either need your own product or exclusivity. Point number 4, and perhaps the most violated point by people who think they want to be millionaires, is that they neglect sales and marketing. Guys, the most important departments at your company are sales and marketing. It's so easy. The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, guys. You need both to work together in order to generate a pipeline, in order to have your sales reps contact those pipelines so that you can continually churn new customers. You need new customers. You need to acquire new customers. How is it that most distributors go their entire lives without getting any new customers, and then they get pissed off when they lose one of their best customers? I can tell you, one of the biggest dairy distributors that I have, that I know of, they used to supply their milk and ice cream products to all of the schools in their district. And you know what happened? They didn't focus on getting new business. They didn't focus on opening up new accounts. Instead, they were complacent and lazy. Guess what happened? The school district ended up picking another bid over theirs, and they lost 30 to 40% of their entire top line revenue by losing one account. How sad is that? How sad is it that companies are so focused on being complacent, on being the same, on milking their revenues as much as possible, and then they lose the essence of their business, which is their revenue? It's insane to me, guys. You need to be focused on constantly acquiring new customers. Where's your content strategy? How many times do you film videos a day? How many people do you talk to every day? How many people do your sales reps call? Are they just filling new recurring orders, or are they actually going out and making new sales? Make sales and marketing the focal point of your business. That's the only way you will ever get to $33 million in revenue and $1 million in net profits. Point number 5, and this is going to be a little bit of a rant, guys. You guys need to innovate. Innovate, innovate, innovate. Jump on new trends. Try new things. Try new products that no one else is trying. Think where the world is going to be 3 to 5 years from now. Be the first one to do something. If you continue to do what everyone else is doing, I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. You know what's going to happen, guys? You are going to lose your entire business. Your entire business is going to go bye-bye. Bye-bye, because people who stay stagnant, people who don't change with the times, they end up dying. Their business goes, boop, gone. So guys, this is my plea to you: innovate. Look across your entire business. Where can you innovate? Can you innovate in your warehouse? Can you innovate in your sales? Can you innovate in your delivery? Is there anything you can implement that could drastically bring down your costs or drastically increase your revenues? If you can, do it. Stop waiting. Stop trying to put an extra $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month in your pocket, which at the end of the day isn't going to change your life. Oops. Oh, I just offended you. I offended everybody. Oh no. Guys, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month, if you're already making a decent salary, is not going to drastically transform your life. You're just going to take X thousands of dollars and invest it. Great for your long-term potential, but what are you doing to grow your business? Your business is where your value is, and I realized this recently. My business is where all my money's tied up. Somebody came and said, here's X number of millions of dollars, and I was like, oh, somebody's willing to pay me X numbers of millions of dollars. That means that all of my money, 90% of my net worth, is tied up here. Why don't I just double down and innovate and do new things and build a better product and manufacture something from zero to have an amazing business? That is what you have to do. Stop focusing on the house, the car, the boat, right? The jet ski. All these things are great, and they probably will happen for you anyways, but if you're in a position to reinvest into your business, to innovate, that is how you're going to see exponential growth. And that is not just how you're going to go to 1 million, you're probably going to go to $1 billion. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video. Do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. I don't care. The goal is to entertain you. The goal is to provide you with some value. Also, leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. I really would appreciate to know what you think about this. This is just my thoughts. This is my opinions. Anyways, I hope that you have an amazing day. Take care.